Okay, is there a representative, there a defendant, or defendant?
Yes, Your Honor. Our party representative will be Chase Covington, the defendant.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning.
And with that, the prosecution is ready to proceed.
Appearances of the defendant.
Yes, Your Honor. To my right is Cameron Wheeler,
Good morning, Your Honor.
and to my left is Christopher Grant,
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning.
who will be representing the defendant, Chase Covington, in today's case.
Alright. Are any, pre-trial matter or any, matters that we need to attend to?
At this time, Your Honor, I believe the party representative for the prosecution will be Mickey Keenan, but they do not have someone sitting at their table. But other than that, Your Honor, we are ready to proceed.
All right. Okay, we go straight to opening remarks, opening statements to the prosecution.
Jonathan McCarroll, for the prosecution. May it please the court. Your Honor, opposing counsel, members of the jury. Gambling is his game. On April 16th, 2015, the defendant, Chase Covington, member of Midlands Gambling Commission, accepted a bribe from A.V. Bancroft, a local casino owner, in exchange for a bid on a second casino that Bancroft wanted to open. Now, Covington is no stranger to casino life. He's been seen there multiple times by Devin Del Sesto, a bellhop at Black Bear Casino. His own sister, Tracy Menitos, has found poker chips in his pockets on multiple occasions while doing laundry. And Corey Hyde, A.V. Bancroft's personal assistant, knew Covington because of how often Covington came into the casino and gambled, playing poker and blackjack and roulette. Covington did an awful lot of gambling, and sometimes even played with the high rollers, because gambling is his life. The casino that Covington did most of his gambling at was the Black Bear Casino, which was owned and operated by none other than A.V. Bancroft, the man who bribed Chase Covington. As the prosecution in today's case, we have the burden to prove that Chase Covington is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And what that simply means is at the end of this trial, if you know that we have proven all of our elements wholly, then you must find them in the favor of the prosecution. The elements that we prove are A, the defendant was a public official, B, the defendant received something of value or benefit in return for being influenced in the act of an official act. And element C, that the defendant acted with intent to be influenced in an official act. Now, the prosecution will call 3 witnesses today. Our first witness is Devin Del Sesto. Devin Del Sesto was a bellhop at A.V. Bancroft's Black Bear Casino. Devin Del Sesto saw Chase Covington come into the casino on the day of April 16th with the briefcase in his hand. It was worn down. And the same day he left with a briefcase in his hand. Not the briefcase that he came in with, but the briefcase that Devin Del Sesto delivered to A.V. Bancroft the day before. Our second witness, Tracy Menitos. Miss Menitos was Chase Covington's stepsister and his maid. Miss Menitos was present during a meeting between both A.V. Bancroft, the casino owner, and Chase Covington, the defendant, in the defendant's home. Miss Menitos also saw Covington with a briefcase full of money, and when she questioned him about it, he simply said, "It's the cost of doing business." Additionally, Miss Menitos, she saw a bank statement in the defendant's room. This bank statement was made out for the day of April 17th, the day after the bribe. The amount of the deposit was $200,000. Our third and final witness is Corey Hyde. Corey Hyde was A.V. Bancroft's personal assistant. Corey Hyde was present for nearly every single meeting that took place between A.V. Bancroft and Chase Covington. He was there when Chase Covington told Avery Bancroft that he needed at least $250,000 reasons to vote for him. This can coincide with the bank statement that Tracy Menados found. Now, these witnesses will prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Chase Covington was guilty. And at the end of this trial, my co-counsel, Dylan Belbaugh, will come before you and show that Chase Covington was guilty beyond a reasonable doubt because gambling was his game, and he lost.
What was the time on that?
4:30.
Thank you.
Defense?
Cameron Wheeler for the defense. May it please the court, Your Honor?
Yes.
Your Honor, opposing counsel, members of the jury, no connection, no crime, no corruption, no conviction. We are here today because the state believes that my client, Chase Covington, a member of Midlands Gambling Commission, accepted payment of $200,000 from one Avery Bancroft in order to sway the vote on a new casino proposal that would give Avery Bancroft a second casino in the state of Midlands. What the prosecution will not tell you today is something that I'm going to bring before you. The truth. The truth is that Black Bear Casino was often host to a number of celebrities and politicians, ranging from B-list singers to governors. And Chase Covington was no different. In fact, the only thing that separates Chase Covington from the rest of these is the fact that he was a lousy card player. He often lost a lot more than he won. But when he won big. $200,000 big. Now, the prosecution is trying to prove that that $200,000 was in fact a bribe from Avery Bancroft. And in order to do this, they have to prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt that he committed this crime. But there's no reason for us to be here today because this entire case is riddled with reasonable doubt. And we as the defense will be calling 3 witnesses before you to prove, or to show you, that they have no evidence, they have no proof that my client committed this deed. Because Chase Covington didn't commit this deed. First, we will be calling Allie Thomas, the blackjack dealer at the VIP room of the Black Bear Casino. Allie will tell you how Avery Bancroft and Chase Covington played blackjack together on April 16th, and they had briefcases that looked identical. He will also tell you that there was no way for them to swap those briefcases without Miss Thomas seeing it, and she did not see it. She will also tell you that she had no way of knowing if there was anything inside, and the fact that the prosecution wishes you to believe that they were filled with money is pure speculation. There is no connection there. Second, we will be calling Danny Hoy, Black Bear Casino's head of security, who will tell you how, when he was watching the security footage, he never saw them swap the briefcases, and how Avery Bancroft met with many politicians, including Chase Covington, and the fact that they were meeting is absolutely nothing out of the ordinary. And finally, we will be calling the defendant, Chase Covington himself, to the stand, who will tell you how he lost a lot of money, but on April 6th, when he was playing poker, he won huge. And the bank statements that the prosecution is trying to bring before you is simply the deposit of those winnings. And finally, at the end of the day, my co-counsel, Jaleesa Harris, will stand before you and ask you to acquit the defendant of all charges, because they cannot connect Chase Covington to the money. and the bribe. They cannot prove that there was even a crime committed. They cannot prove that Chase Covington was corrupt. And therefore, it is your duty not to convict Chase Covington. Thank you, Your Honor.
He disappeared.
Okay.
Yeah. Ask him if he wants to join us before we put our first witness up here.
Would you like the time on that?
Yes.
404.
Thanks. Would you like to join us at the front, or are you happy back there?
Sure, I'll join. Apologize for the tardiness.
I think that creates airflow, so I'm going to turn it back over to you, Judge.
First witness for the people.
Yes, Your Honor, prosecution calls Corey Hyde to stand. Dylan Ballbeck for the prosecution, MC. Please state your name, spelling your last for the record.
My name is Corey Hyde, Hyde.
Tell us a little about yourself.
I live here in Midland, but I graduated from Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. I have my degree in philosophy, but I knew law school was not for me. So I moved to Vegas, which is the party city of America, because I love to party, and I always will. But unfortunately, the odd jobs I was doing was not supporting the lifestyle I grew accustomed to. So that's why I'm here in Old Midland City.
Do you know Avery Bancroft?
I know Avery Bancroft. He's my boss. I thought that Avery Bancroft was a big-headed person because the first thing I read about Avery Bancroft said that he was notorious. I was like, what's that supposed to mean? From the beginning, I knew that Avery Bancroft was a bad boy, but a job is a job. Money talks. Also, I realized that being close to a powerful man, such as Bancroft, had its perks, but also came with lots of responsibilities.
I'd now like to bring you to your role at the casino. What kind of responsibilities do you have there?
There was little that goes on in Avery Bancroft's office that I did not know about. That brings me to the new casino, which was one of the jobs in early 2015, which was one of my jobs in early 2015 to prepare for the new casino proposal. I set up meetings for Avery. I even set up the meeting that took place on April the 13th, 2015.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what happened before that meeting?
I found it weird. That day before the meeting on April the 12th, Chase Covington and Danny Hoyd, the head of security, met with Bancroft to go over security precautions. I had set in on Covington's conversation, which Bancroft never told me to leave, was seemed regular at first because I usually set in all the meetings. I
Alright,
found
I'm
it.
gonna object right now, just, there's too much narrative going on, and she's not responsive to what you're asking, but she's going off on tangents that have nothing to do with exactly what you asked. So you need to ask her more questions, so she can elicit all this information, because right now she's been given paragraphs of information without any questions.
Yes, Your Honor. Would you like me to re-ask the question? Can you tell us a little more about what happened before the meeting?
Before the meeting on April the 12th, we met with the head of security, Danny Hoy, and Bancroft to go over security precautions.
What kind of precautions did you go over?
Well, we talked about different ways of security.
How did that meeting on April 13th go?
The meeting on April 13th, it seemed kind of weird. I felt like everything was going over our heads.
Why do you feel that way?
I felt that way because in the meeting, Covington said, I at least need a 250,000 reasons why to vote for your proposal. That seemed kind of odd to me.
And why do you feel that way?
I felt that way because we were supposed to be talking about new stuff for the casino.
And what happened after the meeting ended?
After the meeting ended, my boss, Bancroft, asked me to order a new briefcase for him.
All right. Now, I'd like to bring you to April 16th now. Tell us a little bit about what happened that day.
On April the 16th, I was responsible for the interviews of Bancroft. But when I walked in his office, I saw him to go ask him about his interview. What do you want to do interview? I saw him stuffing money into his briefcase.
Was it the same briefcase you ordered?
Yes.
And what happened at that meeting you mentioned before?
What happened at the meeting before that? The meeting on April the 13th with Bancroft. Bancroft and Covington switched briefcases under it.
And what happened after Bancroft left?
After Bancroft left, nothing really happened after Bancroft left.
No further questions.
Any questions on the answer?
Yes, it does.
Christopher Graham, may I proceed?
Yes, you may.
Did you see Bancroft by Covington?
Yes, I did.
So that is your testimony to the court.
Yes.
Are you aware that you made a written statement before you entered this courtroom today?
No.
So you didn't write an affidavit.
Were you approaching the witness with?
I asked her if she was aware that she made a written statement
And I asked you what you were approaching the witness with.
or affidavit.
Has the prosecution seen that affidavit?
Yes, we have, Your Honor.
You have no issue with this whatsoever?
No, the authenticity of it, no.
All right, go ahead and continue.
Is this your name right there?
Yes, Corey High.
And is that your signature?
Yes, Corey High.
So you were aware that anything relevant to this case was supposed to be written in this affidavit before today?
Yes.
And any changes to what was written in this affidavit, and anything added to this affidavit was supposed to be added into it before today?
Yes.
So can you show me in here where it says that you saw Bancroft drive Covington?